Ladies and gentlemen, news has dropped regarding the transaction between Yale New Haven and Prospect Medical, which involve multiple Connecticut hospitals. And considering that Prospect is the tenant of Medical Properties Trust, this is potentially important to the medical REIT. The long and short of it is that this transaction was agreed upon back in 2022. So it's basically been about 2 years of blue balls on this one. Just waiting for regulatory hoops and approvals and this and that and the other thing, the T's crossed, the I's dotted, and yada yada. And it looked like it was actually getting pretty close to closing. And now there's a couple different takes on what the holdup might be. Yale, of course, is alleging that Prospect violated the agreement that was signed, and Prospect is claiming that their claims are out of whack, and this is just simply an 11th hour attempt to back out of the agreement. And others think, hey, this is just, Yale basically playing hardball to maybe get, a break on the price, essentially. Threaten to back down to get a discount. And at the moment, all the finger pointing really feels like that Spider-Man meme where there's multiple Spider-Mans just kind of pointing at each other like, no, you did this, no, you did that. And at the moment, I'm a little bit more inclined to think that this is just a hardball tactic. Maybe this is a case where, Yale New Haven is getting cold feet. Maybe they're saying, hey, I didn't know about this or that before I proposed to you. Now that I found it out, I want out of the deal. But Prospect is sitting here saying, oh yeah, well, I already paid the caterer, so we have to go through with it. But ultimately, either this will get them back to the negotiating table and they'll come up with a mutual solution that works for both parties, or they'll slug it out in court, perhaps, or perhaps both sides will just agree to drop the deal and move on, although I think that that's a little bit less likely than the other two options. And, the fact of the matter is, if it becomes a court slugfest, we both know going into that courtroom is a costly endeavor. I think both sides are well aware of that. And if both are being 100% rational, they probably want to avoid it. Again, if they're being rational. So I suspect and slightly lean more back towards perhaps them getting back to the negotiating table again. Because once you start to get the lawyers involved, those legal fees start adding up, and time is also money, and it tends to slow things down greatly. So hopefully it'll just motivate everybody to get back to the negotiations. After all, if it becomes a giant court case, the only ones who win will be the blood-sucking lawyers after all. And nobody wants that, well, again, except for the blood-sucking lawyers. And actually, interestingly enough, while all this was happening in the background, Medical Properties Trust touched 517 today before bleeding most of it back off and going back down to 489. So while we got some excitement at the beginning, by the end of the day, it was kind of a meh disappointment. Although, as of recording, we still have about 17 trading minutes left in the day. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not expecting much. And to be honest, it seems like the bleed off that happened was pretty gradual after it hit those highs. And it wasn't like there was some giant knee-jerk dip like right after this news dropped. So I don't think that it's really super worrying to the market, although it is probably at least a little bit of a headache having to potentially sit here on the sidelines and wait to see what happens with it. And I do believe that there's probably enough other sources of liquidity that this one deal isn't necessarily make or break for MPW itself. But again, this definitely presents something of a nuisance, at least in the short run. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get some more price reaction to it. If not by the end of the day today, maybe Monday after after the market has a chance to sort of digest the news, so to speak. I am also 100% sure the shorts will spend all weekend jumping on this like flies on a big old pile of doody-doo. So take from that what you will, and leave a comment below with what you think will end up happening with this deal. Will it be the slugfest in court, or will they compromise?
Want compromise? How's this? 20 years in the can. I wanted manigot. I compromised. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator instead.
Make sure you like the video if you also enjoy grilled cheese off the radiator, and also subscribe to the channel for more videos. Make sure that you also join our Discord link in the description, where we discuss stocks like MPW on a daily basis. And also catch me every Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Cashflow Kings Live, where I discuss this stuff live every single week with my co-host, The Ryan Dangler Show. Take it easy, everyone.